Hello, this is Rick Cunningham with Cunningham Law. Today, I want to talk about the top 5 reasons to update your estate plan right now. It's important to update your estate plan because an old estate plan may not have the provisions or the distributions you want based upon your current circumstances. So it's very important to look at your estate plan, keep it up to date, and make sure your assets go to your family members and in the proportions and the amounts that you want them to. So before I go into the top 5 reasons, I want to talk a little bit about Cunningham Law. Cunningham Law is a law firm that focuses on business law, estate planning, and tax matters. I have an advanced degree in taxation. It's called a Master's of Law. I took an additional year of law school focusing on tax matters, so I can actually bring added value to business law transactions and estate planning transactions to make sure that the tax issues are also addressed. So let's talk about updating your estate plan. The 5th reason to update your estate plan is your health can change. And it's always better to have updated your estate plan before you get sick. It's a lot more difficult to do it after you got sick. I've had a client who fell and hurt herself, and she had to go into a rehabilitation center. And because of COVID, I wasn't able to visit. And we had to wait for 2 weeks before we could update her estate plan. If she had been on top of it a little bit more and made sure that she discussed with me what she wanted, we could have probably avoided that 2 weeks of uncertainty to make sure that her family members were included in her updated estate plan. Number 4, breakups and divorce. This really should be 2 categories. The first category would be divorce. If you are divorced, your ex-spouse under Nevada law is deemed to have predeceased you. What does that mean? That means your ex-spouse cannot inherit under an estate plan, a trust, or a will if there is a divorce. There is one important information that you need to know. If you file for divorce and then you die before the final decree of divorce, that provision is not effective. So if you are in the process of getting a divorce, you should update your estate plan and not rely on that law. If you are in just a regular relationship, maybe you're living with someone, maybe you have a long-term relationship, and then you break up. If you do not change your estate plan, the gift to that person is still in force. So you may have your ex-girlfriend receive your large gift that you wanted her to have when you were together, but now you didn't change your estate plan. She still gets that gift, even though you may have been broken up for a year or 2 since before you died. It's very important to make sure that you have your plan say who and where it goes, especially with romantic relationships. Otherwise, it can cause significant litigation in the future. The 3rd reason to update your estate plan is you may have some kids, you may have some grandkids. If there's a new child, you want to include them. If you have a new grandchild, you may want to make a gift to that grandchild. So you may have what's called a specific bequest, which means you have a small gift to them if upon your death that it goes just to them. It's just important to talk to your estate planning attorney when you have new additions to the family to see how you want to incorporate them in your gifting. Another reason why you want to update your estate planning when you have kids is that you may have provisions for them when they're like an infant. So the provisions you have for an infant may not be prudent to have if you have your child is now 21 years of age, or they're 40, or maybe they are now parents of their own, and you may want to discuss with them about whether you want it to go to them or maybe make a gift to your grandkids. Second reason to update your estate plan is that you have a family member pass away. You may not want your family member to still be named You may not want your assets to go to their descendants. I had a client who named a sister, but she was not very fond and did not have a great relationship with her nieces and nephews. And when her sister passed away, she wanted the document to be changed to increase the gift to her other sibling. So whenever there is a change in who is alive in your family, you want to make sure you look at your estate plan and, if appropriate, update it. The number one reason to update your estate plan is life has changed and your estate has changed. You may have done an estate plan when you were just first married and only had one child, and now you have two kids, you own a house now, you have accumulated some income, and you have a living trust in place, but your house isn't titled in the name of the living trust. Your brokerage account is in you and your wife's name, but not in the name of your living trust. And you only have named your son and didn't name your daughter. So it's kind of a combination of all these other four, but also just changes in what's in your estate. In addition, as you accumulate assets, you may be subject to the federal estate tax. Federal estate tax is a varying process, because right now in 2021, the federal estate tax exemption is a little over $14 million. So it doesn't affect a lot of people. However, in 2025, that amount is going to drop to 5 million. And depending upon Congress and who is in charge, that drop may happen sooner rather than later. So it's always important, as you accumulate more wealth, as your business grows, as the value of your assets grow, to talk to an estate planning attorney to make sure that you don't inadvertently have estate taxes charged on your estate upon your death. If you want to talk more about estate planning or want to have me review or look at your trust or will, please do not hesitate to give me a call. Thank you. Have a good day.